Hi, my name's Tom. Today I'm going to be building out an issue tracking application on Codebots. We're going to add a custom page to it, and then we're going to write a test for our custom page on the issue tracking application. If at any point you'd like to skip ahead, just check the description in the video. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up a custom application on Codebots here. I'm going to pick C# bot, and I'm going to call it issue tracking. So we're going to need a blank entity. We'll call it issue, and we're going to be using the workflow extension here to manage the status of the issue. An issue is also going to have a title and a description. We're going to have a user that the issue belongs to. We'll just use this user snippet. We'll keep everything default here. So one user has many issues. And that's it for our entity model. For the interface, we're going to use the UI builder. We're going to create a new page, the board. So we're going to imagine we have a board where we can view our issues, kind of like Jira or Trello. On this page, we'll add a vertical layout, we'll add a heading. So we'll give a title to the page, board, and we'll add a data table. The data table will be for the issue entity. So this is where we can view our issues. For security, we're going to allow users to create, read, update, and delete issues. They can also view our board page, and they can also read and update other user entities. So we're ready to build now. So we'll hit build. We'll use the Codebots Git, and we'll just wait for the bots to do that thing. All right, there it goes. So the next thing we're going to do is clone down our repo and get it started. So we can just click to view our repository here, and we can clone down the Git repo that the bots have written out. So there's two important things we need to do to set up. We need to set up the client side and the server side of our new application. So we'll go into issue tracking. We'll go into the client side and we'll do yarn install. At the same time, we'll set up the server side. So now we can start the application, .NET Run. And at the same time, we're going to get our editor ready to start editing code. So in the parent folder, we'll add a new solution file, .NET new SLN. Now we can open the project with our editor. I'm going to be using Writer. So you can see the server-side project has been added to the solution file, but we're also going to link in the client side by attaching an existing folder. And we're also going to add all of our testing, our bot-written testing projects. So there's 4 types of tests that are bot-written with the application. There's the client-side unit testing, the server-side unit tests, the API tests, and the end-to-end Selenium tests. Today we're going to be working with the Selenium test, but we're going to add all of those projects in. Next thing we're going to do is look at the running target application. So we can find it on localhost 5000, port 5000. So the first thing we're going to do is log in as super into our target application. And we'll have a look around, and we'll also configure the workflow behavior for the issue entity. So you can see here we've landed on our board page. This is the heading that we added in, and the data table here for the issues exist. So you can manage issues here, you can create them, view them in the list. Also, as a super user, you can go to the admin area, and here you can view all of the entities, the different users, entities, and manage the extensions like the workflow extension. So we're going to create a new workflow extension for the issues. We'll call it issue status for the issue entity. And we'll have 3 states that an issue can be in. It can be ready, it can be in progress, and it can be completed. So we can go add a transition from ready to in progress. We'll just call this transition in progress as well. And then from in progress to completed. And we'll just call this transition completed. And we can save that. And we can go back to the front end and create a new issue, and we can see now we can set the workflow status. This issue is going to be called build issue application. This is where our description lives. So build out a new issue application, and we'll put it in progress. So the next thing we're going to do is add a new page for our issue tracking application. So we're going to go into Writer. We'll open the client side. We'll find our pages in Views, Pages. And we're going to add a new folder called Custom. In that folder, we'll make a new page, and we're just going to call it Custom Page. I've got a shortcut here to help build out a new React component. So now we have our custom page. We're going to add it to our index.tsx file, which is a list of all the pages. We'll turn the protected region on. And we will export custom page out of here. Then we're going to import custom page into front-end nav links. So we're going to have custom page appear in the nav bar on the left. We'll turn this protected region on. So now we'll have 2 pages, the board page and custom. Now we have a link for it. We need to set up the routing to be able to route to the page. So we're going to go to the file frontend.tsx, turn on the protected region for customizing page routes. We'll just copy the board route here and set it up for our custom page. On our custom page, we also want to have the navigation. So we'll just copy that over from an existing page. And also we'll just update the props to extend route component props. On this page, we're going to do something simple here, just as an example for writing a Selenium test. We're going to have a big green button that will change colors when we click it. So we're going to add a button. And we will keep the class name of the button in the state of the page. So we'll have color, green or red. And initially we'll set it to green. And we'll have an on click for the button. We'll check what's in the state, the current value of the state. If it's green, we'll set it to red. Otherwise, we'll set it to green. So now when we click the button, we'll be changing the state. And we'll also use the state to control the class name of the component. Now we need to apply the styles for this button. So we'll go into SCSS, make a new folder, custom, and we'll make a new file called custom page.scss. And we'll do, for green, we'll have a background green. For red, background red. Now we can include our custom SCSS file into the main SCSS. So in main, we'll turn the protected region on, and we will import custom custom page.scss. So now let's have a look at our application. We'll refresh the page. So now on the sidebar, we can see we also have the custom page below board. And we can see our button is here, and it toggles between green and red. But we might move where the button is on the page. We'll just move it into the body content. And we'll wrap it in secure page. Great, here's our button for our custom page. Let's write a test for it. All right. So we're going to go to Selenium tests, and we'll look at our existing tests. We have this bot written folder. We're going to make a new folder, custom. Another folder, custom page. And then we will make a feature file, custom page test feature. So with feature files, we write out scenarios in a high level, and then we can use Selenium to go ahead and test out the assertions that we describe. So this feature is going to be called custom page scenario. Scenario is I visit the custom page and toggle the button. Given I log into the site as a user, we can reuse this step. And I navigate to the issue entity create page. Instead, we're going to I navigate to the custom page. Then, when I click the button, it toggles from green to red. That's the test we're writing. So now we've got our feature file. We need some step definitions to back up these steps. Again, we'll add a new folder, custom. Custom page. And finally a file, custom page steps. Now we can copy some of the setup from the bot written steps. So we're going to want to extend base step definition. We're going to want to ask for a context configuration in our constructor. And we'll set that to also be a property on this class. Great, let's define the steps. So we have two steps to define. One of them is navigating to the custom page. Great, and our other custom step, I click the button, it toggles from green to red. Perfect. So the last component we need for our Selenium tests, if we follow the normal pattern for Selenium testing, is we need a page object model of our page. So we'll go to the folder page objects, again, add a brand new folder called custom. And we'll add a new file, custom page model, to model our custom page. We're just going to piggyback off existing page object models here to make this a little bit easier. We'll have base section. This page object model is going to take a context configuration. It's going to pass it down into base section that it inherits from. This is base section. And we're going to tell our page object model that we have a button on the page. So XPath is going to be looking for a button with a class name red, or green rather. We can check this XPath is correct by going to our page, opening the developer console, and searching the DOM for this XPath. Great, it works. So we're just setting up the web element for Selenium to be able to find. Okay, and now on our page object model, we can build into it the assertion that the green button exists, and then when we click it, the red button exists. This is our green button. So we'll make a new function, public bool button turns from green to red when clicked. Now we can use some of the bot-written utilities in the testing package to help with our assertions. So we're going to use the wait utils. We will go to the folder utils. We have a lot of utilities that the bot's written out to help with our Selenium tests. One of these is the wait utils. So we can use this after we go to visit a page. We have to wait for it to load or wait for components to load on the page. So this just helps without waiting for our assertions. So we're going to use wait for element. Out of the driver, we'll pull the wait. Okay, so now we have our driver wait. We can use the wait utils and pass it in. So now we have this function. You can see it will wait for the green button to exist. It will click on the green button, and then it will wait for the red button to exist and assert that it does. We're going to do the assertion up one level higher back in the step definitions. So we're going to go back to our custom page steps now. We're going to add a custom page. We're going to add the URL, which we've configured to be custom on the front end. So we'll add that to the page object model as well. So our URL is going to be custom. And we should be ready to run the test on the custom page now. So the first thing we need to do is to shut down the application so we can build our solution. Just make sure everything we've done compiles. We'll start the application up again. And to get our test to appear rider, here we go. So we just wait for the application to start. Great. Now let's run the test and see what happens. And the test failed because of a Chrome driver issue. But that's fine. We will open the CS Pros and update our version of the Chrome driver. Great, I'll shut down the application again. Rebuild the solution. Start the application back up. And just wait for the application to start up again. Okay, the application's running now, so we're going to try running the test again. Alright, now the Chrome driver is fixed. And our test has passed. So we've now successfully written a custom page into our issue tracking application. And we've also gone into the Selenium testing framework written out by the bots. We've created a brand new test. And that test is being built off the back of a lot of the bot written code in that testing framework. It's not a very complex test, but it is an example of what you might do when building out your own custom application. That's it for now. If you'd like to try going and building your own version of this application or any other ideas you have, you can go to the Codebots platform and get building.